Okay, I think we are recording. We're recording. Okay,
All
so
right.
this is Athena StarSeed and Elitom El-amin, and this is going to be our fourth Pranic StarBody activation meditation kind of retreat lecture series. And so I just want to do a little prayer with the candle, breathing in, inhale, and exhale from the point of light. Within the mind of God, let light stream forth into the minds of men and women. May the light return to earth. From the point of love within the heart of God, let love stream forth into the hearts of men and women. May the Christ consciousness return to earth. In the center, where the will of God is known, let the center guide the little wills of men, the center which the masters know and serve, and may it seal the door where doubt dwells. May the plan of love, light, and power restore heaven on earth. Archangel Michael, Gabriel, Uriel, Raphael, Father Sky, Mother Earth, from the point of light that connects us all, please be here in this sacred circle of light. Allow Elitom El-amin and Athena StarSeed to be clear channels for the light. Amen and amen, for the good of all.
Amen.
Amen.
All right. We're halfway here. I'm in a shaded area, but this is beautiful. I'm here in New Mexico now at a beautiful resort, but this all goes hand in hand. We're at these high energy spots. And when I come to California and we get this retreat together, that's what we're dealing with again. We're dealing with the highest potential energies, opening up these energies within us and around us so we can what? Better our energy flow so we can have a harmonious life and better health on all levels, because it's all about energy flow.
So this week I've been doing a lot of introspection and listening to very high vibrational angelic music. So I dipped into a very profound mystic named Hildegard van Bingen. And basically, she was a genius like you. She was a painter. She was a musician. She was a poet. She was a dramatist. She was a nun. She was a doctor. In the, 12th century, this was a profound awake being. And how did she do it? It was complete devotion to the light within. And when we call upon that inner light pulls us forward. The Holy Spirit pulls us forward to these different types of initiations, these different activations. So I don't know what happened with you, but I felt as a child very called to be near the light. Ever since I was little, all I wanted to do was think about God, pray about God, sing about God, feel about God, and make myself one with that consciousness. So how did you decide to become a breatharian?
Oh, I'm glad you brought up Hildegard van Bingen. The retreat I had in Michigan when I first came in the U.S., I dealt with a woman named Norma Gentilier, and she actually recreates her music today. She's a professional opera singer. So this is all kicking right in hand. And the reason why I chose Michigan, because when I became a breatharian, that was the first retreat in America or gathering that I started teaching at, dealing with Hildegard van Bingen's music. So this is no coincidence. Now, what inspired me to become a breatharian is, now, first of all, before I even started the journey, I was a minister in the church.
Oh, now, I forgot about that. How did you become a minister?
Oh, because deep down inside, I always wanted to help people and really be my best in life dealing with spirit. So when I find an avenue that will better myself and get me closer to dealing with higher force energies, I go for it, no matter what. So even though it started off due to my understanding on what was there at the time, you understand that was available to Christianity thought process. But as I got deeper and deeper, I had to start peeling off stuff, laying stuff down. But the main goal inside for me is always to be my best. That's not in that like an arrogant way on the physical realm, is dealing with the energetic part of it. So even now where I'm at, the Pranic movement is on, I took myself sort of like the poster child now, because there was even some, when people do find out about it, they'll say, oh, with some breatharians, they still eat, they do this. So I took it to another stroke to say, okay, now you're going to meet the real deal. So we can really bring this here on the planet. So again, I was kind of birthed for this. It was always in me. So as you asked me this, basically, I feel like I was made for this. This is my destiny.
You know, I feel the same way about my own path, that I had an inner calling. And even as a child, I used to just have the Bible with me all the time. And I used to use the scripture when I was in my wheelchair: knock and the door shall be opened, seek and ye shall find, and ask and ye shall receive. And I would have these inner conversations, and I just felt this light, this Christos that was inside of me as a child. It was like a buzzing firefly, hummingbird magic that would swirl around the inside of my body. And I felt bright. I felt like shiny. And I wanted to always help children. I always wanted to like help kids at the bus stop. When I was little, I was very poor and I had to stand in the free lunch line, and I got shamed and humiliated for being poor. But I felt so close to God that I felt blessed.
Oh, absolutely. And the thing about this is, even though, see, what makes us feel poor on a physical aspect is other people. That's where it comes from, due to society standard. But what the scriptures are telling us is saying, wait a minute, that's not what richness is about. Richness is inside. You are rich. So right now, I am one of the wealthiest men on this planet. There's no doubt in my mind. I'm just not making this up. This is a lot of power. You understand? Because you don't have to sell out for nothing. And at the same time, I could create any reality I want to. So we had it backwards. That was actually what we came out of, was the lower frequency vibration. So as we come into this new vibration on opening up the portals, I know everybody's into this, you know, think and create, you know, and manifest certain things. Oh, I have to move right now. Sorry. But as we open up these portals, this is what we're talking about for people, that to show them the richness that they have inside.
Yes, you know, when I study the lives of saints, I mean, I like to, okay, for me, I'm always looking at my integrity. Where's my integrity vibration? Where's that beam of light that I can put myself near and see where I can make my adjustments as I look at my life and review it, right? Because a life well lived is a life that you have introspection and review. So I'm constantly contemplating, reviewing, and then using my life force to make adjustments. And so that beam of light are these sages and saints. Like with the masters, when I'm looking at, all right, how close am I to this? Because Jesus said, you'll do greater things. Now, this is a human condition that we can evolve. Let's keep evolving it. Let's do the next, you know, like the iPhone keeps going up. Well, the body consciousness keeps going up. The mind consciousness hopefully will drop and upload the software of emptiness. And the emotional consciousness won't be dragging us around like a rag doll, throwing us back and forth with our emotions.
Oh, absolutely. And see, this is what it's about, awareness again. And like we said, this whole paradigm shift is changing. As I'm out here in New Mexico now, I'm actually teaching a retreat, and people are learning that their physical body is their consciousness. And then the reality that they're creating is their consciousness. So when we talk on this type of level, it's a self-realization that a person has to put themselves into. So when we talk about opening up these portals again, you are the portal. And that's when you open up these things. And it's amazing as we're out here, as we're talking this. Like here I am at this resort, and it's beautiful out here. We were just in the sun and everything. We're actually nourishing ourselves. And not only me, but the people that I'm with, nobody ate anything. You understand? That actually blocks what we're talking about. That blocks up the portals. If this makes any sense at all, we're taking it to that level. But when you're around a frequency like myself, like the guy just told me, he said, I'm so glad you're here, Elitom. It feels so much easier doing this process just being around you.
That makes sense.
This is what it's all about.
It makes sense, because if you're with the frequency that's already mastered that city power, that gift, then it's easy to jump in on sympathetic resonance, because birds of a feather flock together. And that's why I want to go back to Hildegard Bingen, because her music was a tuning fork for the nuns. She would walk around cleaning and singing, and those nuns would feel her arias, and their heartstrings would vibrate at the same tune. So she created operas that are called Ascension. So the last 3 days, I've been soaking in her Ascension arias, and I sat in the sun this morning, and I was charging my body with light. I also have not eaten, and I feel like the sound, Elitom, went inside of my spine, and it started pulling things out. The sound was like a yellow ribbon of golden light that was melting things that didn't want to be there.
Oh, absolutely. This is awesome. And that's what it's all about. We want to share this opportunity with people to have this experience. There's many experiences in life, but we want to get that higher frequency experience where you can fully enjoy it, where there's no pain in the body, no blockages, your thinking is clear, and that is the greatest wealth a person can have. And that's what we're talking about this magnetism and how we're living, that it can actually be created. All people got to do is just listen to this knowledge closely and take your time and love yourself again, and you will find out that this will be a reality.
Okay, I would like to ask you a couple questions because I had some people that have been signing up. We do have people that have already signed up, so we have a few spots left. They're asking about disease and where does disease come from, and can this type of lifestyle help remove blockages in their physical body?
Oh, actually, see, this is all dealing with the foundation of energy flow again. Now, when we was in school, we learned about our biology, and a few of us learned about the chemical levels. But the schools didn't teach us the root of our energetic level. Now, right now where we're at, even in the medical field, and even in the sciences, the energy level is the foundation of the physical body. Now, we call it our neural system. Just for me to move my hands, this was electricity. Nobody can argue with that. You understand? So, if it's dealing with energy flow, like when you deal with electricity, there's two types of movement. One is the flow of it, and the other one is when it becomes static. You understand? Now, we understand that when we're dealing with a house, static electricity. But for the body, where the energy stagnates itself, we feel it as, first of all, soreness, a pain. You understand? And we feel them on that type of level, but that is an energy blockage. I was just at a house a couple of days ago where somebody got up and started rubbing somebody's knee, and it felt better, and they didn't have to take the medication no more. That is not far-fetched. That's what we mean by energy blockage. Now, this is why energy healers say the disease took place in the energy body before it took place in the physical body. See, a lot of these terms we're not making them up. Medicine and science is actually catching up with a lot of things that the ancients was already talking about. Right now, with this knowledge, where you just ask where the disease come from, it's an energy blockage. 9 times out of 10, when the person goes to the doctor and something shows up, first thing they want to find out is what are you eating and what are your habits. I mean, all of this is basic.
Is there any way that you can move, because the reception's a little choppy and your languaging is a tiny little bit broken up?
All righty.
Oh, that's better. That's a little tiny bit better. Okay, good.
All right.
Yeah, so I want to go back over this. So when somebody maybe wakes up and they haven't been paying attention to their small symptoms, and then one day they get diagnosed with some random whatever disease, I mean, is this like something that they could do to look at that? Or is this something that it has to really be a calling, that people want to actually do this because they really want to be called to this? And by the way, those things fall off anyway. This isn't like a therapy that you're doing just to get well. This is something that you're actually called to do, yes? Or what?
Oh, yeah, this is a lifestyle.
Lifestyle.
And we're bringing people into a new lifestyle. This isn't like the old way that we're giving you a remedy, then you go back to your old lifestyle and it happens all over again. People got to understand that they're making themselves sick. We are energy beings. And any physicist on the planet will tell you that. We work with light and energy. We work with sound. This is the new wave that we're in right now, and this is working.
You know what? I think you're going to have to probably move your location. That internet's not really great where you are. You keep freezing. But I'll talk for a second while you're walking around.
All right.
So from my own experience, when I've done several 38-day and 40-day liquid fasts, the longest water fast I've done has been 14 days. And the reception that I get with my body, just doing those tiny little things, you know, for the last, I guess, 15 years off and on, I've been experimenting and how my body feels, how my body heals. Like right now, you know, I'm going to be 50 in 2020, February, and I'm more energy than I had when I was 28, when I did extreme fitness and ate a high protein animal-based diet. And so I've completely changed, and I have pictures to prove what I look like at that age in my 20s and what I look like in my 40s, my late 40s. And I look better.
Oh, absolutely. And see, now do you hear me a lot better now?
I do hear you better, but just keep it close because I think there's background noise.
Oh, yes, it is. Okay, what we were talking about, this right here, what we're talking about on this journey is a lifestyle change. It's sort of like there's many people who lose weight, but they cannot keep it off. The people who keep it off would tell you without a shadow of a doubt, they had to change their lifestyle on how it was going before. So if you want to maintain this energy flow, it's one thing to learn that you're working with energy, you're an energy being. But what do you do from there in your day-to-day life to maintain that energy flow? And there's a lot of sicknesses, illnesses, and diseases people can avoid. That's why they're labeled them under preventable diseases. That means they could have been prevented. You understand? So it's a lifestyle to bring things on. That's not saying you're a bad person, but it does take knowledge on, you know, keeping yourself moving. Don't keep yourself sitting in one spot too long. The food you eat, how much you eat, what time you eat. That's all a lifestyle situation that could cause you a lot of harm in the future if you keep violating and catering to that type of habit.
You know, it's interesting because until I read the Essene Gospels of Peace, I didn't realize that there are rules that the Essenes and a lot of the mystery schools had that passed down to the initiates, the Brahmins, the I don't know, all the, like the Druids. They knew special times to eat and when not to eat. Like you said, we shouldn't be eating late at night, even if you are eating. That's not healthy for your digestion. And also time we should be going to sleep when the sun goes down and waking up and the sun comes up, or a little before. So talk about lifestyle and how that helps you over a long period of time.
Well, see, that's the thing about the human being. Like if we was talking laws and rules on what time to feed an animal, the best time to feed an animal, we will agree with that when we look at another type of animal.
Right.
But human beings get arrogant in their understanding because they don't understand that they're under these same rules also, what we call universal laws. They appear invisible, but they're every bit of just as real. And they're regulating everything. So this is what we're talking about, but what makes us different than other animals is that we can learn about these different rules and laws that seem invisible. And the best way to know that they're carrying out and they work is due to how your body responds to it. So now when we deal with these set times and cycles and rules and laws and stuff, humanity is waking up now because we have achieved what you call, or what I call, biological immortality. Right. I mean, there's some people still kind of catching up, but everybody do got the idea that, yes, we're not saying you need to live a life like a hermit, not do nothing at all. The body's resilient. It could handle toxin, you understand?
Right.
But over-toxifying yourself, this has been the problem. How humanity has been using these energies. So when you deal with the breatharian knowledge, like how you said you read the Essene Gospels, and they talk a little bit more about that, about this regulation that the human being is under, and you'll just have better use out of your vehicle. So we're going to break it down to modern day language now. It's sort of like if you get your, like how you like your Tesla car.
Yeah.
Now we know that if you give your Tesla car better maintenance, you'll get better use out of it. You understand, in the long run. Just to, just driving it day by day, not taking care of it, not washing it, that would show up also. But now when you look at your body as being the vehicle that we live in, hands down, because I do talk grounded, you understand? You have to take care of this vehicle if you want to enjoy this realm. You understand? And this is the thing about it too. People have to wake up for it, because I see it happening more and more. The last generation did it, and this generation is mainly rebelling against it. I know we got that work hard for what you want and stuff like this, but if it's damaging you, you can't enjoy those things anyway, nor your money. I see this all the time in the circles I'm in. I'm surrounded by people with money. And there's many who say, you got the right message, Elitom, because I've damaged myself. I got a lot of catching up to do, and my money cannot pay for this. So by coming back to these universal laws, it's free, it takes knowledge, and it also takes another understanding on the rewiring that we're doing, because it feels wonderful not being sick, not wasting a day. And that takes a lifestyle, time, to stop damaging ourselves.
So at the retreat, I do have people emailing me and asking, we need to get an email soon with some type of little scheduled details, but I've never done a retreat with you, and you seem mostly like a flow teacher. Where do we have a schedule? Or are you doing satsang? Are we just in your field? Like I know we don't want to say too much, but for some people, we're going to be doing a lot of listening, yes? Learning.
This is awesome. Now, every retreat is different. And of course, I do give out a schedule and itinerary. You understand? People need that. But it always changes due to the group we have, due to the people we have. That's the power of it. And the people usually dictate it. This is what I love about these retreats, because it's sort of like a drum circle. Everybody's bringing their piece of energy to it, and it goes with the flow and goes in the sync. But the schedule will be, we will have hands-on meditations every day. That's a must, because we could talk till we blue in the face, hearing new philosophy. That's not what it's about. Like I said, I'm in the retreat right now, actually right now. And we were just out there in the sun, woke up with a good meditation, got the energy flowing. And then as we teach, that just comes out on each different thing, how spirit brings it. And then after we leave from here, we're going into another Qigong meditation. Now, when you stay consistent with these meditations, this is what the retreats does. You get more out of it when you with a group, not even with myself, just a group of the synergy of people. I know people say I meditate, by yourself at home. It's powerful when you're with the group dynamic. And then when you all have something in goal that you're seeking. So the success rate on my retreats, people always come out of there transformed for the better. Not only physically, but also with the knowledge. So it will go hand in hand. You will have both the verbal part. As we talk, you got your questions and answers. Number two, you're going to be in my energy field, and the energy field of the place, the sanctuary that we'll be in. And number three, you will have the hands-on working with the energy consistently and watch it grow, your own energy. This is what we're talking about.
This is so exciting. I'm so glad that you defined that. And then I have one other question. When people arrive, are they going to immediately not have any food, or how does that work? Does it just go right into no water? Or
this has been a success for us also. In the past, it was the main thing is to get rid of stress. So in the past, they had these retreats for people were going into, and they're saying there's going to be no food at the door. Now, just hearing that, that's stress right there. Yes, it is. This is why it has been unsuccessful, and there's been a lot of people who came out of those places with food disorders. People will go in there, they'll try to tough it out, they're beating up on themselves, and all through the retreat, they can't hear it. Well, first of all, they didn't even have the teachings that we have today. I gotta say that. Okay. You understand? Number two, so they didn't learn nothing. And number two, they're going through the whole retreat thinking about what they're going to eat as soon as they get out of there. You understand? So that's not helpful at all. Now what we'll have the beverages, you know, the water if you need it, the tea, and different juices if you need it. You understand? And if we do a meal, it'll be a light meal. But we will also pick the days where, as a group of the synergy, where everybody will go into it together to go on a day where they don't eat or drink nothing at all. And when you do it as a synergy, as a group, you got each other's support as we're working with the energies day by day. Because if you're going through a retreat, if you're just sitting there with no food and you can't hear nothing and your body's hurting, that is not a good retreat in my understanding. People get a lot more benefit. Again, when we deal with the meditations, because the meditations is the core of the pranic journey. It ain't about the eating or not eating. People gotta understand this. You bring somebody to me who don't understand the meditation process, or better yet, I've seen people actually look anorexic and look really bad from losing too much weight. You have to replace it with another energy before you let food go. Did I say that clear?
Yeah, that makes so much sense, because when I'm meditating, I feel naturally full. I don't feel hungry at all. So I start, you know, I start with that. If I'm going to meditate and I'm going to go sit in the sun, I drop my jaw off and then I go and I meditate after, and I sometimes sit there for 2-3 hours. But if I just have an hour, I'm sitting there, I feel full, I feel filled with light, and
right.
I don't have a craving. My craving's gone.
Now I like that. Through the meditation, the craving gone. So I want people to feel secure when they come to the retreat. The main thing is to have fun. We get to know one another. And we're going to, one thing we're going to dive into is the meditations. Once we start dealing with the meditations, we'll start talking about what foods we're going to let go. And like I said, people do it on their own. See, when you do it on your own, there's no stress.
Right.
This is what we're going to do, avoid stress. But when you're sitting up there trying to keep up with the Joneses, let me push it through, let me do another day, even though you're falling out all over the place, you are not going to be a breatharian falling out over the place. Like my saying says, if you try to force a flower to open, you're going to damage it.
I think that's beautiful.
It has to be an allowing. Stay consistent with the energy. Now, as I say, these meditation is the foundation. Most people I meet on this planet, as I travel around, and I'm challenging people left and right. First of all, people don't meditate like they say they do. Number one, they don't know how. Number two, and this is my experience dealing with people on many different levels. And many people are not consistent, hands down. I can say this boldly now because I work with enough people around the world.
Yeah, so if you think about it, I mean, are we consistent with brushing our teeth? I talk to some of my clients when I'm channeling for them, doing my intuitive readings, and I say, you have 2 bars left in your phone. Now you have 1 bar left. Now you can't watch a video, and you're supposed to do your homework. How are you gonna accomplish that? And they said, well, I'm gonna plug my phone in. I said, well, meditation is like plugging your phone in. Like, this is your system.
Exactly. Once we can understand that this vehicle we live in has great importance, it's the greatest science and technology you have access to. You have to take care of it at a higher level. If you take care of it on an energetic higher level like this, plugging it in when it needs plugged in, you'd be surprised what it would do for you in its investment, especially in your future.
Yeah, and let's just talk about like bringing the future to the present. Right now, how do you feel? Let's say the said stress comes in, okay? The bill comes in, or the flat tire, or the person gets fired, or the person gets broken up with. When you have enough charge, you have enough reception to know, oh, let that go. God's giving you something else. Empty your hand, let that go. God's giving you something else. Empty your hand, let that go. God's giving you. But if you're down here, contracted and stressed, you're like, it's mine. I'm never gonna have it again.
Oh, absolutely, because you can't see. You're blocked up. This is what we're dealing with. You are actually living a good life where you are, I can't describe it for you. I'm trying to describe the experience. It's hard to describe an experience. I'm doing the best I can, but I'm sharing this with people so they can come in and go into their inward self and start cleaning up this stuff. When you clean up this stuff, You are creating your reality hands down.
And then you create your reality on your own behalf instead of against your highest will. A lot of people right now, the people that are still struggling in the shadow, they're creating the reality too, but they're getting the basement view of the reality.
Exactly. That's what we're dealing with. The wrong programming, don't know no better, all this other stuff. So this is what we're dealing with now, about really learning something. These basic principles that has great power when a person takes them seriously. This is awesome.
You know, I was looking at, I was going through my room, I was cleaning, but I found this little speech thing that Gandhi wrote. And
right.
First of all, I love Gandhi, but if you think about any incredible being that made a huge difference in the spiritual dimension, they all had fasting and cleansing and energy at the core of their message and their teachings, which gave them the highest level of wisdom, which they helped to change the world.
Absolutely. This is what we're talking about. And like we said, it's all up to, I understand people have their different agendas and motives. We're not trying to force this message on nobody and say this is the only way. But what we do know is this way is very powerful when you do come into it. I will brag about its power. When you meditate and open up these channels, I have no choice but to. This is what's giving me life. And it's changing so many other people's lives. This is what it's about. Opening up these portals again and let it keep opening up and ringing. See, the place I'm at now is called Ojo Caliente, which is a hot springs here in New Mexico. But what makes this so unique is it got the most mineral hot baths in the world, of different mineral hot baths. But to me, this is portals again. Everybody's coming out here, and just by jumping in each mineral hot baths that have been here since ancient times, is opening up people's pores. They're coming out differently. They're changing just by on that type of level. Now you got to understand that we got these same portals inside of us, these same energy centers. When those burst open and open up, it's going to change the way you feel, change your outlook, change your perception. And you have to stay consistent until it gets the memo to stay open and you get to wanting to live that new way of life. I can't even imagine going back to the way I used to live once upon a time. It don't even make sense.
Yeah, you know what? You don't even have to talk. You are so radiant and you're just glowing that it's obvious that whatever you're doing has a lot of photonic light coming off of your apparatus. I mean, that's just like, to me, is science.
And this is perfect. We live in a perfect world with perfect bodies that can accomplish what we're talking about, without a doubt. Again, it just takes somebody to tell you that you can do it, give you the recipe on how to do it, and all of us work together to make this happen. This is what it's all about. Not only I try my best to inspire other people, they also inspire me also.
Beautiful. Okay, so the retreat, for those of you who are listening, thank you so much. This is our fourth lecture series. It's going to be 11/11/2019. It's going to be in Sherman Oaks, California, in the city of Los Angeles. And we're going to do some very magical things here. We are at the Sound Palace Temple, which is my home, that I was inspired to turn it into, you know, a learning spot. And also, too, people can come and listen to such high data so that they can improve their own vibration. And so for the rest of this month, the end of September, it is 432, which is a harmonic, and our bodies are little notes in God's symphony. So we're tuning ourselves up. Next month it's going to go up, and in the last week it'll go up one more time. It's only going to take like 11 to 16 people, probably closer to 11, and we're about halfway there. So if this is on and you really want to jump in, please hit the link below and give us a shout out.
Oh, this is awesome. We're loving every bit of it.
All right, so blessings and light. Thank you so much. This was a wonderful, another time with you. It's just wonderful.
Oh man, this is great. And I'm so mellow right now. And the day is just beginning. Like I said, we got some wonderful meditations coming up in the evening. I'm at a retreat now. So just think how everybody's going to be feeling day by day as we keep cultivating this energy. It's a wonderful thing. Hope to see you there.
So beautiful. Thank you so much. Blessings and light. Blessings.